Good evening one and all, and welcome back to the videos on my channel. I'm going to do a flip through of this journal whilst I'm chatting, just so as you can see what this journal looks like, and it gives you something interesting to watch while I'm blabbing on. So I have made a bit of a plan as to what I want to achieve this year with my channel and for myself. And that sort of entails, does that fit in there? Oh, it does. That sort of entails that I want to make a different journal every month. Mainly for beginners, to give them the confidence to have a go at making a journal if they haven't done so before, but also for the experienced, in that if you've made my journals before, then it might encourage you to just go back and go and revisit now that you've got the experience of making journals. The idea is that once a month, hopefully on a Friday night, I will upload a video to show you how to make a specific journal, not to decorate it, but how to make it. And the idea is then that the rest of the month I go through and I show you how to make different items, which could then go into the journal that you've made or one of the previous journals that you've made. That does fit in there like that. What I basically want to do is I want to revisit some of my old journals, this being one of them, but I also want to add some new journal types into the mix as well, so that you can see different ways of making different types of journals based on materials that you might already have, or that you might want to consider purchasing the products for. Okay, now this was a very popular set of videos that I did back in the day, and this was based on envelopes. Now I don't want the experienced ones to shut off just yet, because this particular month I'm not just going to do one video. I'm going to do 3 or 4 videos on different journals that you can make, so that we've got different journals to work within throughout the rest of the year, as well as probably some new ones as we're going along. So as I say, once a month on a Friday night there will be a video showing you how to make a journal. The following weeks we'll have different products that we can make, embellishments and ephemera, that will then go into the journals that we've been making. But February I'm going to show you 3 or 4 different journals that you can create. In this particular video I'm going to show you 2 different types of journals that we can make, this being one of them, and this is an oldie, and this was basically made just using bog standard envelopes. All right, these envelopes measure 7 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, but you can use whatever envelopes size you like. You could even use junk envelopes and utilize those. You might need to fiddle about a bit with the preparation side of it, but the envelopes, 5 of them, that's all you need. So the first envelope we're going to open up, and we're going to leave that flap open and flat. The second envelope, we're going to put the flap down here, so that will stick on there, so it now looks like a completed envelope. So then we can flip that over, and we'll keep repeating the process, still keeping this first one down flat. So we're going to get our glue, and on this folded back flap we are going to place glue along that edge and also down this edge. Now what we don't want to happen is we don't want to get glue in this area here, because we want this to remain open as a pocket, which you'll see in a bit. So that's my glue, and I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to line it up with the folded edge here and glue that onto there. So then I can flip that back, just apply a little pressure because there was a lot of glue on there, and then that's one envelope in place. Going to do the same with the next one. We're going to fold that flat back and we're going to place glue along the outer edge of that flap, so where the sticky gum is, and also down that straight edge. And then we're going to flip that over, line it up with the edge of the envelopes here, and stick that down there and make sure it's all nicely aligned. Same again, fold that flat back, glue along that outer edge, and also down that straight edge. Line it up, and then the last envelope, fold that back again, down that edge, and down that straight edge. Line it up. And now we're going to fold this flap from the first envelope up, over, because there's a little tiny step there. Oh, main shot, there we go. A little tiny step there where all the envelopes have gathered together. So we want to make sure that we incorporate that little step and fold that back. So now we've got a little tiny folded edge just there. So I'm going to place glue down that straight edge where that little fold is, so it'll glue to the back edge of all these envelopes, and then around that flap. Lift it up, push it against the envelope edges, fold that over, and that's as simple as it is. So we've now got a little junk journal just made from envelopes. Now the other thing I'm going to do is not the first one or the last one, but these three that are here in the middle. I'm just going to trim this outer edge off here. Now you can do this on your paper trimmer, or you can do it with a pair of scissors like I'm doing, and it just helps to open that envelope up to create a pocket. Now one of the questions I got asked a lot when I first did this journal was, can you add more envelopes than 5? Well, you can, but I would be careful, because you've got to make sure that this first initial flap is going to fold over enough to be able to cover up that back edge. So that's the first one done. Second one done, and you can see how much I'm cutting off, only a tiny bit. And the third one. Now there's no reason why you can't cut the first and the second, the first and the last envelope in the same way to create pockets, but I just think it gives it a little bit of extra strength. if we leave them as they are. So you can see now there's a big pocket in there, big pocket in there, and a big pocket in there. I will leave in the description box down below, because I've got a playlist of envelope journals. I'll leave the link in the comments below to the playlist, because I do go through how we go about decorating it and how we can go about adding coffee dyed pages to make it a better journal for writing in. But that's as simple as it gets. For this next envelope journal, I'm going to use these 5 12x12 papers. Now, I have made one already, and this paper is a little bit flimsy. So it doesn't need to be cardstock weight, but it doesn't need to be copied paper weight either. So it needs to be sort of, you know, a firm paper or a very thin piece of card. And I'm going to also use my envelope punch board, and I'm going to make, where is it? There we go. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't know whether that's picking it up, but that's a 5 by 8.5 inch card, which means my envelope will be a little bit bigger than that. So I need to cut my paper size to 10 3/4 inches first of all, and then I need to use this 4 1/8 score line. Okay, I will explain that all together in a bit, but first of all I'm going to cut these papers down to 10 3/4 inches. Okay, so I've cut out all my 12x12 papers to 10 3/4 inches, and the crease mark is 4 1/8 inch. So if you've not seen an envelope punch board before, there has got a little tool tucked in the side, and what we're going to do is going to place this one edge here on the 4 1/8 inch mark and slide it underneath this punchy bit here. So that's on 4 1/8. Now mine's getting a little bit old, and it doesn't always punch properly. And then you're going to put the point of the tool in the little space in here, and there's a little ridge that your like bone folder will slot into, but as you can notice it's running off the edge of the board. So I'm just going to pull it out, and you don't have to do this with all your papers. This is just because it's a big piece of paper, and I'm just going to fold it over on that crease that I've already got, and just follow the crease line along. Okay, so I've got a little notch out there, and I've got this crease mark now going all the way down. I'm going to turn this round, quarter spin, and I'm going to place this crease mark underneath this little tiny, let me show you up close, there's a little tiny lip thing here, so it needs to sit underneath there. Okay, so that goes in there like that. Once it's all lined up, I can punch, put my pokey tool in, sorry, my bone folder in, follow that little dent, which is this line here, spin it a quarter of a turn, and I'm going to line my score guide up against that line, and it should, with this small bit, go to the 4 1/8 inch again. Punch, bone folder, and again it's running off the edge of the board. So I'm going to just take my board away, use that crease line that's there to continue the crease line along the edge of the paper. Open it back out again, quarter turn. Insert that under there, line that little edge up with that fold, punch, and then that score mark. Now I'm going to fold the 2 short corners in first. And then that big one up at the bottom. Now you can either leave this as a big point here, or you can trim it off so it's straight. Now I prefer to do it so that it's straight because of what I'm going, the next step. Alright, so I want all of this clear of paper here. And then open that flap back up and put glue very carefully along that edge. We only want a thin line of glue because we don't want it oozing out into the envelope space. And I'm also going to put some on this piece here that's going to fold over. And then I'm going to fold that flap over and that'll stick that down nicely. And then that flap comes down. Now as you can see, this has got a pointy edge. There is another little tool on this, but at this end. So I'm going to insert that pointed bit in there. Punch that down and it gives me a nice curved point rather than a sharp point. And that now gives me all of my envelopes all made up and ready to go. So I want to sort the colour order out. I think I'll have that as the front. So we'll go alternate. Purple, grey, purple, grey and purple. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So open up the flap and get the next one, which is going to be a grey one. Open this flap and I'm going to sit this flap inside of there. So that's going to sit in there, and this crease line is going to line up with the crease line from this flap here. Now I don't want to get glue everywhere, so I'm just going to put it on that point. Move that out of the way. So on that point and just along the left hand side of that score mark. So I'm going to very carefully pop that inside of there and then just push that down and fold that over. I'm going to do the same again with the next one. Open this up. In fact, I'm going to use my collal glue, I think, because with this I've got a little bit of movement with the glue so it doesn't adhere straight away. So I'm going to pop some glue on the corner there and then put it down this one edge down here. Flip it over, pop it inside of that envelope. So then I can fold that envelope back on itself. Do the same with the next one. And that's that one in place. Flip that over. Last envelope. Down that edge. Flip it over. And then this flap is the one from the very first envelope, so we'll do the same again. Pop a bit of glue on there and a line of glue down there, and then slip that inside of that last envelope. And we've now got another envelope junk journal, but we've got these pockets here. So we've got pocket on each left hand side there, and then there's one on the back cover as well, and then you can decorate that one to your heart's content. With all the bits of paper that are left over from cutting this down, I can actually use them. Let me just choose one. So I could use these as sort of belly bands on here. I could even add another, let's choose a different colour so you can see it. You could add a little pocket down there so that you've got a little tuck spot down there as well. So you've got tuck spot there, pocket there, belly band there. Okay, so there's all sorts that you can do with it. So for this week, that's your 2 envelope journals. Next week I'm going to do something a little bit different to make a journal, and then I'll go back to some more envelope journals that you can make as well. And as I say, I'll put the link for the playlist in the description box below. I hope that you'll go off and go and make some of these, and then we've got some prepared for some future projects that we're going to be doing. Okay, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Bye.